It's the CP Show. The CP Show. It's the CP Show. Welcome to the CP Show. Welcome to the CP Show.
CP Show says it right there. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're seeing me again. We had some views. We're getting some views. A friend of mine, I go, 100 views. He goes, hey man, if you're in a room with 100 people, you're having a show. So, same guy. We're going home today, and I go, wait, do we go left or right here? And I plug it into the GPS real quick. Oh, we're taking a right. He goes, I don't use GPS, man, because you forget how to navigate. You forget how to drive. You forget how to do directions when you use the GPS. And I go, first of all right. Secondly, all right. Thirdly, I get it. The third time I go somewhere, I try not to put the GPS on, just so you want to remember. You want to use your brain. You want to live in society. I get it. But we got to go left or right. We have this technology. Let's just find out if we should go left or right. I was going to take a fucking left, by the way. That's 15 minutes to try to get a U-turn and get back. So, what if the pirates, what if Magellan was like, I don't use the stars, man. You forget how to sail when you lean on the stars. But anyway, I think I'm going to talk a little bit. This is a new segment we're going to do today called My Regular Life. Clients can be great or crazy. Brought to you by kitchenandfloorstore.com. That is a long title for a segment, but we're going to do that segment right now. That's the segment we're going to do. Two clients, polar opposite situations, and both hilarious, and one awesome and one terrible. So I'm not going to use any names, but one client, amazing woman, knows what she wants, detailed, oriented, absolutely knows what she wants, and gonna get it. And so you're dealing with that. No problems there. That's what we do. Okay. And then the other client, a nutter butter. And I think the universe or God saved me from this nutter butter and then gave me another opportunity immediately in the wake of the buttered nut. So the first lady's is, I can't say enough, amazing, kind words. I thought we were starting, when we first started off, I thought, by the way, all of us talk about you like that. All of us in the remodeling world, construction world, we all talk about you like that when we go home. I just want you to know that. I genuinely think this is one of the nicest people I've ever met. I think she's such a sweet woman. I love her little dog. He's so cute. But yeah, we talk about you guys. So the first after hours interaction was a twatty text. And I responded. I've gotten older and better at responding with an inferred go fuck yourself, but not that. And it was like, well, but there's this and this and this, and this is what happened. And so I appreciate it. But any other questions, please reach out to Mom. And from that point forward, she was amazing. At some point, I had to go, listen, whatever you inferred from that is not true. I love it. It's been great. This job's amazing. I can't wait to put. And so one day we get there. This is the story. I'm going on and on, as I do, because this is a podcast. She goes, I got gifts for you and your guy. They're on the table. And I go, well, we're not going to be there Monday. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. She's like, whatever. They're on the table. I got gifts for you guys. And I thought, first of all, that's sweet. It's going to be, a little card and $20, and you guys have been great, and or a gift card for a restaurant. And any gesture from a client is above and beyond, because they're in a contract. They've given me money to do these things, sometimes lots of money to do these things. And so they're not required. You are not required to go the extra mile in any way, shape, or form. And when I tell you this was the extra mile, so what makes it so amazing is the few days that she's been home. That's another thing. When a client goes away, goes to work, goes and does their things, and allows you to work without watching you work all day or talking to you. I love to talk, obviously, and sometimes if I really enjoy a client, then I don't get any work done. So, but a couple of days she was home, and we were chatting and getting to know each other. And I enjoy. I like Canadian whiskey, as you guys know. Well, maybe you didn't know it was Canadian whiskey, but I enjoy Canadian whiskey. And the kids that work for me are younger, and my helper that day was in his 20s, and she's like, you probably don't drink. The young kids don't really drink anymore, And he's like, nah, not really, sometimes. And I go, yeah, he smokes weed every day, all day. And she laughed, and then, and we all had a laugh. So we go get these packages, these gifts. They're in 2 cute Chanel bags, which already I'm gay. And here we go. My bag, a bottle of Crown Royal, which is Canadian whiskey, if you didn't know, a card with wonderfully kind words on about what we've done in the project and what we're doing. And $100 in the little envelope, which I gave to my helper. So that's a lie. I told him I was going to give him the $100, and I put it in my pocket. I didn't know it was going to be $100. I just lied to you, fam. Ooh, I just called you fam. Cut that out. Yeah, no, I kept $100, but I did give him like $35 extra on his check that week. Here's where it gets great. For him, remember, this was a 5-minute conversation. I like Canadian whiskey. He smokes a lot of weed. A 4-pack of THC infused, I guess, soda waters or whatever you call them, seltzers, and a joint stuck to the top of the envelope that she had said. We found out later, she goes, I rolled that shit before you guys got here. It was great. I asked him later, how was the weed? He goes, it was really good. She must have a fucking weed card. That's the sweetest. I mean, those are the clients that you love, right? And this lady was Mrs. Sticky Note, right? Every day we got there were 47 sticky notes. What about this? This door's crooked. What about this? What about that? What about this? And they're all things that we were just hadn't got to yet, but people don't know that. And so Sticky Note Jones over there turned out to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Lifts us these wonderful gifts, and I love her the way that I love all of you that watch this dumb show. So that's the yin. Now let me tell you about the yang. So this is a client I had gone out. This was a referral. This was from someone who we've done an amazing job for, an extensive project. I believe she cuts his hair, and she was talking about this, and he goes, well, my guy, and then that's how that works. Those are golden. If you're in my business or adjacent to my business, referrals are golden. So I get a call. I go over to this lady's house to look at a bathroom and some countertop stuff. Now, important to note, for her side of the story to me is, and I thought it was gospel until I realized she was a nutter butter. Her side of the story is that she's getting fucked by her contractor that did the master bathroom. He never comes. He's late. He sends people that don't speak English. We live in South Florida. They've been waiting on this tub that supposedly got ordered. I don't want to get in the weeds. But my basic thing was, listen, I'm not going to get involved in that. If you get that settled in any way, meaning you get some refunds and you're all done, or they finish it, you're all done, then if you need additional things to make it right, I will be happy to, at that point, try to do that. But I'm not getting involved in somebody else's shit. I don't want anyone to ever get involved in my shit. That's crazy town, okay? But the story that she's telling me means this guy's a real piece of shit, and he doesn't do business properly, and that's a shame. That gives my business a bad name. It makes it tough for me to sign jobs, and these are the things that I'm thinking privately, and saying some of it to her. I'm trying to sell a job after all. Okay, put the proposal together, get it shot off. Well, that's too much. The other guy said only this. The other guy's fucking you, is what you spent an hour on the phone telling me. But okay, the other guy's cheaper. Well, we're not cheaper. This is what we charge. And so, let me know. Either way, I wish you luck. That's what I texted. And let me know. A few weeks later, get a call. All right, we've decided we're going to do it. We're going to go with you. And we want to do the other part too. And I go, great. I'm going to my schedule's a little wonky right now, but give me a week. I'll get the thing put together, both parts in one proposal, and I'll get it over to your email. I'll let you know. I'll text you and let you know I just emailed that. And then next Thursday, I think we could get together and I'll have a proper schedule. Thursday sounds great. See you Thursday. Can't wait. You ready? I show up Thursday and do the thing that I always do. And by that, I mean, it's a process. We go in, we make small talk, we how's it going with the other thing? Oh, they finally ordered the tub. Okay, well, good. That's a step in the right direction. Again, when all that's said and done, let me know, and I'll, if there's things that need to be fixed or finished, I'll do my best, but I can't get involved in that. Everybody understands. Pull out my contract. Let's go over every single line by line, out loud. If we need to make notes, we'll initial them. I'm going to leave you the originals. I'm going to scan them into my phone. Been doing this in some form of this same way for 29 years. We go through all the lines. We're all comfortable there. We get to the pay sheet. We go through, this is what to do today. This is what to do when we hit this milestone. This is what to do when we hit this milestone. I sign and date. I turn it around and set it down on the counter and hand her the pen. A kitchen with a bar top, and then below it's the sink. I'm on this side of the bar top. She's on that side by the sink. Well, the sink's not right there, but you get it. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not exaggerating. I turn the contract around and set it in front of her and hand her the pen. She goes like this and is looking at the contract and starts making a face like she's shitting her pants. We sit there. If I had the guts, I would just sit here for 3 minutes so you could see. We sit there for like 3 minutes. Do you know how long 3 minutes is? 3 minutes in a silent, awkward situation is a lifetime. How about this? Go give a speech that's 3 minutes long and tell me how long 3 minutes is. It is a lifetime. At some point I go, what's going on right now? Like I didn't even know how to react to that. And I just go, what are we doing? What's going on? What's going on right now? I just can't. That's so much money to give you now, and the job's not for 4 weeks. I go, yeah, it's a month out. October 20th. This is last week. I have to buy the things. I have to put a deposit down on the glass guy and the tile guy, and I have to do the things that we do. Everybody needs money to go on a schedule, the same way I need money to go on your schedule, or for you to go on my schedule. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. What is going on right now? You okay? So at some point, I go, all right, well, I have to leave now. So I pick up the papers and pack them all back together and put them back in the envelope. And I go, well, I'm leaving. What if I give you the deposit a week before we start? Well, then if you give me the deposit a week before we start, we're still 3 weeks from starting. So we're in the same scenario. Well, I just get the guy upstairs because he fucked me on the master bathroom. I'm starting to think he didn't. I didn't say this part to her. I said this part in my head. I'm starting to think that he didn't. One of the things they said to me as we were going through the line items was, well, one of us is here on Monday and Tuesday and Friday, and we'd really like to be here when you're doing the work. And I was like, well, we can't come Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. That's crazy. What do I do on Wednesday and Thursday? I have guys that need to work. We have another job to go to after your job that's, by the way, a month out, and someone's already given me a deposit for it. That's not how it works. So then I started thinking, well, let me I digress, and then I'll all the way to the front door. She's, well, what if I gave you $100? What she said this to me. What if I give you $100 now to go on the schedule and then a week out? So I'm realizing she's sweating. She's flop sweating, like she went on stage and didn't have any material. And that's the only thing I know flop sweat from. It was the most awkward. Her husband, when she freaked out and made that face and froze, just left and went upstairs. He didn't want to be a part of it. I thought at the time that was odd, and then I was like, oh no, that's not odd. He's dealt with her nutter buddy, and he was like, I don't want to be around this. It's too awkward when she goes nutter butter. So I go, listen, I gotta go. I mean, this is the craziest. This is one of the most ridiculous, craziest meetings I've ever had. You hired me, or you didn't hire me. The point of hiring me was that the other guy was fucking you over. You cut the hair of a guy who I did an entire house, literally gutted and rebuilt an entire house for. And he's telling you that I'm not going to be the jerk off that's doing your master bathroom. Now, let's be clear. This deposit was not enough money for me to change my identity and move out of state. Barely enough money to cover the cost of before we started the project. So we're not talking about, I just want to lay it all out there. So I get to the front door and she's like, okay, look, I'm sorry. I'm going to call you in a few weeks and then we'll revisit. And I got to be honest. I would have never said this 15 years ago, 20 years ago. 5 years ago, I would have said it 5 years ago. But as you get older and more experienced, you just go, no, there's no scenario on earth where I would do your project. Because if the freak out happened here, what happens when I need the next check, when we hit a milestone? And then here's what I started thinking. That's what I was thinking earlier, that I've gotten back to. I don't think the other guy's a jerk off. I think she's like, you can only come on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or whatever the hell it was. And this guy's like, what? I got a fucking business to run. So I tell you what, I'll come whenever I can. Like, he probably tried that for a few weeks. Caveat, the master bathroom's gorgeous. The shower's gorgeous, European glass, the tile work. It's all really great work. It's not like they went in there and drew crayons on the wall and drew dick and balls. Oh, this is a job, owe me a check. It's a beautiful project. So whoever this guy is that she thinks is a jerk off, the work is chef's kiss. I guess he doesn't show up when he says, or he says he's going to show up or whatever, but it might be that they're like, well, you can't come today. You can only come on Tuesdays. And he's like, well, I can't come on Tuesdays. So go fuck yourself. I'll bring the tub whenever I get a fucking chance. I don't think I'm on that guy's side at this point. This lady's a nutter butter. And as I'm walking out the door, I'm going to call you in 3 weeks. And I just go, you know what? I don't know if there's room on the schedule for you after this. But you can't, it was crazy. It was crazy. I can't express someone doing like this, staring at a contract for 3 minutes without saying anything, forcing me to go, what are we doing? It was the oddest, most uncomfortable meeting I've ever had. And I've had some uncomfortable meetings in 29 years of doing this type of work. This was the most uncomfortable meeting I've been in a meeting where a husband and wife were sitting at a kitchen table here and here, and I was sitting here, and they were screaming fuck yous at each other over the table because this one made a decision and this one didn't like the decision, but he had texted me the decision, so it wasn't my fault. And then she was mad at him and he was mad at her, and if they wanted to change it, they had to buy all new blah blah blah. And I would go, okay guys, listen, I'm gonna get out of here. And I would try to stand up, and they would both stop, look at me, and go sit down, and then start screaming fuck you at each other again like a sitcom. And this was more uncomfortable than that. So thank you, young lady, for the gifts and the wonderful reviews and the wonderfully kind words in the little envelope with the $100 bill. And thank you, Nutter Butter, for letting me know that you're a nutbag before I got in a contract with you. And 15 minutes away from that house that day, the phone rings, and I have another appointment tomorrow to go see a kitchen remodel. So thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, the world. And that was our new segment called Real Business Stories of Good Customers and Bad Customers. I don't remember what I said before. Brought to you by kitchenandfloorstore.com. Let's check out kitchenandfloorstore.com. kitchenandfloorstore.com. Are you ready for the best quality cabinets at the absolute lowest prices on the internet, shipped right to your driveway anywhere in the United States? kitchenandfloorstore.com. What's that? kitchenandfloorstore.com. We've got traditional, we've got transitional, we've got shaker style, we've got Euro style, all plywood, all full extension, all soft close. I got skinny shaker, I got fat shaker, I got shaker. We've got all the cabinets you could possibly want, all the styles, all the colors, shipped right to your driveway at the lowest prices online, kitchenandfloorstore.com. What's that? Luxury vinyl plank flooring? That's what you're looking for? I got you. It's kitchenandfloorstore.com. We've got all the vinyl planks, all the sizes, all the colors, all the styles, shipped right to your driveway. kitchenandfloorstore.com, kitchenandfloorstore.com, kitchenandfloorstore.com. And we're back. Here's a fun fact I learned today. Prohibition. Do you remember Prohibition? Do we remember Prohibition? No, no one was alive for Prohibition. But you know what I'm talking about. Prohibition. You see me spit that piece of ice back in the glass instead of crunching it? You fucking commenters. Prohibition was really pushed by women. Now, I know what you're thinking. Always trying to ruin my fucking good time, these chicks. And that's true. No, that's not true. The real reason is there were no laws against beating the shit out of your wife or family. There were no laws against raping your wife. How about that? If you were married, you could just take it. You could rape your wife, and there was no laws on the books. Not only could she not contact the police about you, if she did, they would go, yeah, sorry, there's no laws on the books. So that's why women push prohibition. Now, they created a monster because once we got our booze back, we started drinking again. But they had created laws by then, and for the most part, men stopped beating the shit out of their wives and raping them. That's the craziest part. I can't get my head around. I might beep that word. I'm not sure what YouTube thinks about it, but anywho, that was why women were pushing prohibition, not because they wanted to ruin my good time. like my ex-wife used to do. Can I just get one more and then we'll go? I said that 473,000 times while I was married for only 8 years. Okay, let's move on. I see these videos like the one where the girl spit on the guy, the congressman, or it's all left wing, purple hair, nose. It's always the nose ring, right? The nose ring, the septum ring, and the crazy eyes. They all kind of fall into that category when you see the TikTok video version of that. But you see the videos on campus where the crazy theater, crazy girls with the purple hair and the nose rings and the shit they're so angry and violent and retarded. I mean, they're fully retarded when it comes to like the views that they're angry about or the things. And you can't go fully retarded. You should never go fully retarded. But young liberal women are fully retarded. Now, here's the thing. They've always been fully retarded. They've always been young and liberal. Most girls in college go a little liberal. Hell, I was liberal in college. It's the old saying, if you're not liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart, and if you don't turn conservative when you get older, you don't have a brain. All young college girls, nowadays the hot ones tend to lean conservative, but all young college girls go a little liberal, and they're fully retarded. I just think it's the narratives were different. And the idea that I have to go full violent, spit in your face, rip your sign down, when did that part start? Because it's always been young liberal college girls going, and you go, all right. And then if you're trying to fuck them, you go, yeah, I agree with you. But they were always retarded. But when did the violent part start? In the last, I'm going to say 10 years. I mean, I guess it's just started with Trump, right? But I don't understand. I'm not going down a Trump rabbit hole today. I'm sticking to young liberal college girls are retarded. That's the rabbit hole I'm staying in. Stay in your lane, I always say. That's what I always say. Ask anybody. Stay in your lane. And my lane is retarded young college liberal girls. Okay. All those words will jumble up. Comey got indicted. The fired director of the FBI got indicted, and the left is screaming how unfair this is, how Trump is targeting his enemies, how this is crazy that this is happening. This is fascist. He's Hitler. No one's brought up the fact that you still have to go through the grand jury process, and this particular county is pretty liberal, actually. You still have to put 12 random people in a room, present the case, and then they have to decide whether that case is strong enough to take to court or not. That's how a grand jury works. That's how an indictment works. I don't know if you guys know that. So that still had to happen, regardless of who directed what. So if it was bullshit, then the grand jury would go, nah, this is bullshit. We can't indict here. But the indictment came down. And here's what I haven't seen out of the left. The left on TV, the narrative, that left. I haven't seen one single person go, whoa, I hope he's not guilty. Holy shit. I mean, you could say the other stuff. Clearly, President Trump is targeting his enemies. I sure hope Comey's not guilty. Because then we're going to show that Trump is targeting it. No one's even brought that up. It's just, how dare you indict this guy? How dare you indict this 7 foot tall monster that can't fit in a Volkswagen Bug? How dare you indict this crooked, shady, ridiculous human being? How dare you? But no one There are no reasonable people left on the left. Hey, there don't seem to be many reasonable people left on what I'm going to call the extreme left. I'm still going to give them that benefit of the doubt. Hey, I wonder if this guy's guilty. I hope not. I don't think he is. But let's let the greatest system on earth play out, and we'll see. We'll see if he's guilty or not. No, none of that. How dare you indict this crooked Bigfoot monster? All right. Well, let's see what happens, because he has been indicted. Oh, by the way, Roger Stone was indicted on the exact same charges, and they raided his house at 6 a.m. with somehow CNN was tipped off. They had about 30 FBI agents. They even had snorkel frog teams. I don't know if you know this. This is facts. In the water behind us, he lived on a canal in case he tried to escape by boat or jump in the water. This 70-year-old man, 68-year-old man, 62, whatever age it is. He's not 72. Okay. He was an old guy. His wife's sickly. He was going to jump in the fucking canal and scuba away. So you had to have a frog team in the canal. 30 agents beating his door down, scaring everybody to death. His wife's deaf, by the way. So she didn't know what the fuck was going on. Can't hear. Hands up. Same exact charges. And Comey was, asked to turn himself in with his lawyers in the next 10 days. No problemo. We'll see you when you get here. So keep that in mind when you keep thinking that everything's the same from the right and the left, because it ain't. And the right's had enough. Fuck you. It's not coming from both sides. Fuck you. We're not going to play nice anymore. Okay, moving on. The Charlie Kirk Memorial. The clips I saw, it seemed to be a lovely event. It was, Memorial Mania, Funeral Mania, WWE Funeral Raw on Tuesday night. Poor Erica Kirk comes out and fucking pyro goes off on the stage at a memorial. So that was odd. Oh my God, Tim! Somebody comes out and does the fucking atomic elbow on one of the front. So yeah, Funeral Mania was a little nuts, but there was, I think, a couple of 100,000 people there between inside and spillover, or the other venue, whatever that was. Did you notice that there were no fistfights? There were no cosplaying fags that had bought a bunch of BMX gear and just painted it black so it looked like military stuff. Oh, it's so cringe. The Antifa guys are so cringe. It's just a bunch of theater phase cosplaying. The cringiest part is when somebody gets pepper sprayed or knocked down or knocked out by a fucking Proud Boy. That they just go, they start yelling medic like they're literally in a Vietnam movie. It's or a World War I. I literally have douche chills right now thinking about that. None of that. No buildings got set on fire. No 7-Elevens burned down. No fistfights that I saw. No one arrested that I saw. No federal buildings attacked. No looting. I love looting. Here's a good reason to break into a Lululemon store and steal everything. Because we don't like the president. But we don't like the president. That's more like it. None of that happened. The worst thing that happened when there was a lot of trash left outside the stadium because people didn't realize they weren't allowed to bring things in. And when they got there, they were like, oh, shit. So they just left it outside. Worst thing that happened. A couple of 100,000 right-wing extremists got together and they left a bunch of trash. That was the worst thing that happened. So that's interesting. I think it'll never get told on the news. My dumb show. I'll tell it, but whatever. There is a difference in the right and the left. There is a difference how we handle things we hate. In this case, someone that was a prominent member, factor, leader was murdered, assassinated, and we didn't burn down buildings. George Floyd was a fucking drug addict that held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach and died of a fentanyl overdose. And they burnt down 15 cities and put him in a gold casket. Holy shit. Yeah, so we don't act that way for the most part. You act that way for the most part. And that's just the way it is. Other than it being FuneralMania with the fucking pyro, it was an incredibly peaceful, lovely time. And it looked like from the clips that I don't watch anything in long form, certainly anything political in long form. But from the 10 clips I saw, it was just all the people trying to pray and worship, whatever that meant to them, whether they were traditional Christians or just kind of, saying, all right, it doesn't hurt to pray. It doesn't hurt to pray. Sing a song. Remember Charlie. It was lovely. It was fucking lovely. FuneralMania1, Sunday. Okay. I can't even talk about how she forgave the guy that shot Charlie, or I'm just going to start bawling. That's what they teach you in almost every religion, and it's so much easier said than done. I forgive you, she said. Amazing. We'll see what she turns out to be as the de facto leader of Turning Point, but that was amazing. Okay. We're almost done here. Wrapping up. Let's talk about the NFL. I'm leaving the worst for last. You guys know what I'm going to say. I'm leaving the worst for last. We can't fucking beat them, apparently. I'm leaving the worst for last. I will address it. I won't leave the elephant in the room over there taking a shit without addressing it, cleaning it up, getting it back to the zoo. Okay? Okay. Can we do away with ties? A proper, exciting, amazing NFL game happened, and it ended in a fucking tie. We're in 2025. Guys, Roger, Commissioner Goodell, we got to do better, Commish. We got to do better. We can't have a tie. In modern day NFL, we got to do better. And here's the thing. And I don't make the rules. The Cowboys won that tie. Green Bay lost that tie. That's it. I don't know. That's the rules. I don't make the rules. But that's what happened. We all saw it. And then we were all dumbfounded. I remember when the Philly or the Eagles, Donovan McNabb, kneeled at the end of the first overtime because he didn't realize that the game's ended. When they interviewed him, he was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a rule. Because it shouldn't be the fucking rule. All right. So NFL Sunday was okay. That game was amazing. Green Bay Cowboys was a really, really great game until it ended in a tie. Saturday night, 7:30, ABC, prime time. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, number 17 Alabama against number 5 University of Georgia Bulldogs. Them dogs are going to see what they're made of. Well, we lost. We lost to Alabama again. We've now beat them 1 out of 7 times, I believe. They are our daddy. And I don't know what to say here. It wasn't a blowout. It started out as a blowout. We did what we always do this year, apparently, is we did it to Tennessee too. We just give you 14 points, and then we go play a game of can we get back in the game? We did get back in the game. We got back to 24-21, and then we couldn't stop them on third down, and they just kept the ball until the time ran out. And we lost. Again, to the Tide. That was 11 seconds. Think about what 3 minutes feels like of silence, standing in someone's kitchen. I'm misdirecting. So we lost to Alabama again. And yeah, we got to run the table, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get them again in the playoffs, and I'll be terrified again. I actually, back in the Mark Richt days, you knew we were going to win 10 games, go to a bowl game, and play Wisconsin. That was it. We went to the Outback Bowl, we played Wisconsin. That's what we did. We were always going to lose the big primetime game, whether it was Alabama. One year it was fucking Boise State, or Auburn, or we were always going to win. We were always in first and second, and then we were going to win the big primetime game where all the voters were watching, and then we were going to finish 10-2 and go to the Outback Bowl and play Wisconsin or Michigan State. Us old school guys that have been following them since I was born. So when we won our first national championship when I was 4 years old, I put this on X at Deke Davis on X. Excuse me. Make sure your dishes are done. Make sure your floor's swept. Make sure your bed's made. Make sure your laundry's done and put away, not left in the washing machine or dryer, because it ain't going to be my fucking fault when we lose this game tonight. That's how we all acted during Mark Richt. All my shit's in order. I got on my lucky fucking jersey. I've changed shirts at halftime. And then Kirby came along, and we believed again. Unless we're playing Alabama. So I did my dishes, I swept my floor, I made my bed, and I finished the laundry. And we lost 24-21. And what I say to that is go Dawgs. Let's get them next week, goddammit. We got a big one coming up. All right. Thanks for joining me again. Episode 3, CP Show. Says it right there. I'll be back next week. Will you? I hope so. I hope you'll be back next week, because we'll be talking about some more fun shit. And I'll be telling a couple more jokes. And we'll see what happens. See what happens. And remember, I love you. I love you dearly. I love you with all my heart. Have a great night, guys. See you next time.